Top of Samach Gimel Av. Amar Vihuda. Shalach zeh hashola dogim min hayam. Duchifa shahodo kafus. So a shalach, which is one of the non-kosher birds, is shola from the yam. It draws its fish from the sea. It goes deep down into the sea to capture fish. And the duchifas is a beautiful one. Its beauty is bound to its head. If you see the picture over there, it has beautiful feathers that open and close. And when it's closed, it looks like it's bound to its head. When it's opened, so it's nice and beautiful. So you have these two non-kosher birds. Tani namihachi duchifa shahodo kafas. This bird was the one that brought the shamir to the Beis Hamikdash. We know that Shlomo HaMelech, when he built the Beis Hamikdash, he didn't want to use stones that were cut with metal, even though he could have used stones that were cut with metal. He decided not to use stones that were cut with metal. We know only the Mizbeach can't be cut with metal. But he wanted to cut all the stones without metal. Therefore, he had to go get the shamir. Well, the shamir is found inside, it sounds like it's found inside the duchifa shahodo. It hangs out in the, this animal seems to have the shamir in it. So he had to go ahead and he had to get the shamir, as it says in Gittin, he had to take the shamir away from this animal, and he was able to use it to cut the rocks for the Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Yochanan ki avachazi shalach amar mishatecha tom rabah ki avachazi nemala amar mitzikatzcha kareel. When he would see a shalach, he would say, your mishpatim, your judgments are deep. Why? Because again, it would have to go down to go get its food. And when he would see an ant, he would say, tzikatzcha kareel, your righteousness is like the harim. Well, why is it righteousness versus judgment? Seemingly by an ant, which Kosh Baruch Hu takes care of, and it just gives it its food. But you wouldn't have thought the ant would necessarily be able to get its food. It's so small. What it gives it its food, that's considered to be its tzidkascha. That's considered to be righteousness. Mishpat is a little bit more of a judgment because the shalach needs to go and needs to dive deep into the sea in order to get its food. Amar Meimar, different types of birds. Lakane uvadne sharian, shaknai ubadnai. So these two are allowed, and the other two, it depends if there's a custom to eat them. Since when do we know? Since when do we say that a bird is kosher or not kosher based on the minhag to eat them or not? Either it's kosher or it's not kosher. In says the Gemara, no. It sounds like these birds l'maisa are kosher, but at the end of the day, you can only eat them in a place where you know that it's not a parrot and an azniya. That means these birds per se are kosher, because if they weren't kosher, then nobody could eat them. They are kosher, but they could be confused with a parrot and an azniya. So you might not know that they're kosher or not. So in a place where there's a parrot and an azniya, and you can compare them, then lemaisa, where they're common, then you can go, the opposite. When they're common, the parrots and the azniya, you cannot eat them because they might be a parrot and an azniya because they look like a parrot and an azniya. In a place where there is no parrots and azniya, then you could eat them. You don't have to be worried that they're parrots and an azniya, correct? So as long as you're not going to confuse them for parrots and azniya, as long as there are no parrots and azniyas around, because these birds have one kosher siman, and they're kosher. But it sounds like we're going to make a gzeira in places which also have a parrot and an azniya. We're going to make a gzeira. You can't eat them because you might confuse them for a parrot and an azniya, and you might come to eat a parrot and an azniya. But if there's no parrots and azniyas around, then you don't have to be concerned. But the bird itself is kosher.
Right. So we said before, it was yesterday before, that when you know what those parrots and azniya is, then you can eat the other.
Right. So here, by definition, when there is no parrots and azniya, you know it's not a parrot and an azniya. Right. Says the Gemara, Amar Abaye, Kue v'kakue asire, kakuasa is sharia. Kakuasa is allowed. B'ma'arav in Eretz Yisrael they argued malkui lava. Not only did they say that it's a suffix, they for sure, because you only get malkus if it's for sure not kosher. It was definitely not kosher, a kakuasa. V'karula tachvasa, they called it tachvasa, but again they argue and say that a kakuasa is not going to be permitted. There's a whole list in Vayikra. There's a list of all the animals. The first in Parak Yud Aleph, the first psukim discuss non-kosher land animals, then non-kosher sea animals, then non-kosher birds, and then the shvatim. So it's interesting that there is a non-kosher bird called a tinshemes, and there's a non-kosher sheret called a tinshames. And the Rishonim point out that the fact that it has different names is not really even true, because one of them is brought in the beginning of the pasuk, one of them is brought in the end of the pasuk. There's really two animals with the same exact names. Both of them are not kosher. One's a bird and one is a sheretz. Not to give away the whole thing, but the Gemara is going to try to figure out which one is what, and then it's going to say it's pashut. Davar lame me'inyano, the one that's listed amongst all the birds is the non-kosher bird, and the one that's listed among the non-kosher sheretz is the non-kosher sheretz.
Because grammatically
they wanted to suggest maybe one could be one.
Name it just because it's coming in a different
Right. Says the Gemara, Tinshemes bo sheba ofos. The Tinshemes is the bos. Either bos is a word, or bos means like despised. It's the despised of the birds. Rashi explains it's either a bat or an owl. Maybe it's the bosh of the shratzim, which we'll see is a mole. Amart, the one we're talking about are the ophos. It has a list of all the non-kosher ophos. Avkan be'ophos. Obviously, if you're going to tell me that the tinshemes, which is listed with the ophos, it makes no sense that it would be the one that's a sheretz. Says Martani Nami Gabe Shratzim Kai Gavna Tinshames Bo Shebet Shratzim Atomer Bo Shebet Shratzim Meno Ela Bo Shebet. So maybe the one that's in the list of the Shratzim is actually the oaf. At Amar to Tseu Laman Mugum Yeshatorni Dresses Behen Dover Lame Men Yono Bamea Kosim Medaber B'Shratzim Avkan B'Shratzim. So again, each one is prohibited for consumption either as a non-kosher bird or as a non-kosher sheretz, but they're both considered to be called a tinshemes or a tinshames. Amar Abai. Bo sheba ofos kipuf. So it's very nice that you told me the bo sheba ofos, but they want to know in Talmudic times, what is this bo sheba ofos? What animal is it? So I just told you Rashi says that it's a bat or an owl, but the Gemara wants to know what is it? It's a kipof, which doesn't help us, but obviously they knew what a kipof was. Bo sheba shratzim korpidai, and again it's either a bat or owl, and the korpidai is a mole. Again, like we mentioned yesterday, this is a good example as he brings down over here. It's a good example of why you need tradition, because Rashi, as we learn, says that it's either an owl or a bat. The problem is that the tinshemes is listed with the 20 birds. What do we say the 20 birds are, doctor? The 20 birds are the ones that have 3 kosher signs and not another. The problem is if you look at an owl and a bat, they both don't have a crop and they both don't have a peelable gizzard. So if you're going to tell me that the tinshemes, which is one of the 20 birds, which has 3 signs, is not kosher, all of a sudden now you're confusing things because it can't really be an owl or bat based on the way that we learned previously. This again goes back to what we discussed. It's a good example of when you take each blot by itself, or each daf by itself, or each gemara by itself, it's fine. But when you start putting them all together and you start figuring out which one of the simanim each one has, because the Gemara never tells us, when you start figuring out they don't always stem with the exact names that we have.
And you would think because by the time the Gemara already, they didn't know what the names were in the Chumash, and they had to try to figure what those names were, that you realize that later on that the next generation is going to have the same problem.
Right.
Why not draw pictures of what the
right, so unclear. But again, that's why Lamaisa, it ends up like we keep saying, that the tradition, Mitzvah, is what's going to rule, and that's what we'll see today as well. Amar Yehuda, Ka'as zu akuk, Rechem, Racham zo shrakrak. So 2 other non-kosher birds are the cook and the shrakrak. The cook is either the pelican, he says, or a water bird. It's interesting, it's called cook because it's like ka'as. Kuf ayin taf. The ka'as, which is a cook, is something that vomits. And they say the pelican actually vomits up. It's like it chews its cud and it gives the food to its chicks. It's pretty gross. But the racham is the shrakrak.
Most birds do that for the chicks. They chew it.
They chew the food and then give it to the chicks? Interesting.
So they're old enough to eat it.
So this is the bird that squeaks or squawks with the shrakrak. Okay, what's the shot? Amr Rabbi Yochanan. Lama nikra shmo racham. It's called the racham. Kevin sheba racham bo rachmim. It flies away from the. It sounds like it flies through Eretz Yisrael during the rainy season towards Africa. So as we'll see, it's able to predict when it's going to rain. It's like people with arthritis, right? Sometimes if you have arthritis, so they tell you that it's going to rain in like 2 days from now. So when you see the racham, you know that rain is coming. So it means that mercy. It's called racham because mercy is coming to the world if you see the racham. Amar of Bibi Barabai v'hu diyasav amidi v'avid shrakrak. That is only when it's sitting down and it makes a shrakrak sound. Usually birds talk when they're standing up, if you're familiar. If you're an ontologist. But when they're sitting down and it's shrieking, that means that rain is coming. Ugmiri, not only that, we have a tradition, the Yasiv A'ara Visharik Asa Meshicha, that if it's sitting on something and it makes a shrakrak, then not shlakrak, shrakrak, if it's sitting on something and it makes a shrakrak, then it means that it's going to be raining. If it's sitting on the ground and makes a shrakrak, then you know Mashiach is coming. Shenemar Eshrika Lahem Vakapsein. Fascinating. Says the Gemara, we have a problem with this. Amar le'Ravada bar Shimi l'rar marbar v'idai v'ahu diyasiv bei kracha v'sharak v'asa galal afsakei l'mochei. But we had a racham that was sitting on a plowed field. It was shrak rocking, and a stone came and cracked its soul, and Mashiach didn't come. Says Gemara, Amar le hahu ba'ida. No, that was a liar. That was Shabtai Tzvi, right? That was a animal that pretended to be calling the Mashiach, but that one wasn't. But there's actually going to be a shrakrak at some point that's going to, we always think about the shofar, but it's saying there's going to be an animal that's going to be called a racham, that's going to shriek out and it's going to call out before Mashiach comes. Fascinating. Taner Rabbanan. Orev ze orev. Eis kol orev lahavi orev ha'amki. Lemino lahavi orev haba b'rosh yonim. So we said orev. It says es kol orev lemino. So we said es kol orev is one of the birds. Lemino is another bird. And we're going to do the whole count of the 24 today. You remember we said we had 20 and then 4 leminos. So the 20 and the 4 leminos is 24 different species of non-kosher bird. But what's an orev? An orev is an orev. Eis kol orev, lahavi orev ha'amki, the deep orev. Lemino is lahavi orev haba b'rosh yonim, which is the heads of the pigeons. Let's see what each one means. Amar mar, orev ze orev, atu kaman kai. I understand. To say that an orev is an orev, that doesn't help me unless I'm standing in front of you and you're showing me what an orev is. So what do you mean an orev is an orev? Says Gemara, ela ema orev ze orev ukama. An orev is a black orev. So when we talk about an orev in general, that's treif. It's talking about a stam orev. A stam orev is a black orev, which again is referred to usually as a crow. V'cheinu omer kfutzosav taltalim. The locks are curled. Shchoros ka orev. He's black like an orev. So you see that a regular orev stam, which is not kosher, is a black orev, a crow. Ha'amki, what does it mean, a deep orev? Chivra, that's actually a white one. No, it's not a white one. It means a black crow. So totally black, that's a regular orev. Black with white dots, that's a deep orev. Why is it called a deep orev? Because what happens when you look at black, when you have a black background and there's a white spot in the middle? The white, even though it's not deeper, it's on the surface, the white looks deeper than the black. So too when you have mareu amak min haor, when you have a person with tsaras and you look at their tsaras on the hand, it's not deeper than the skin, it's on the skin. But when you look at a white patch, especially when it's on skin, but specifically if it's on dark skin, it looks like it's in the skin. It looks like it's deeper than the skin. So too, kimare chama amuka min hatzel. So too when you have sun and shade, the shade looks like it's in the sun. So again, the sun looks like it's inside the shade, that it's deeper in the shade. So over here, why do we call it a deep orev? Because a black orev with white spots, the white spots look like they're deep, like they're inside of the black, and therefore that's called a deep orev, which is also going to be treif. For orev haba b'rosh yoni, what's an orev that comes with the heads of the pigeons? Amar Rav Papa, lo tema da'asi b'reish yoni. It doesn't mean it hangs out with the pigeons, because as many point out, if you have birds that hang out with kosher birds, they're kosher as well. Okay, that's not something we can rely on, but that's mostly, again, a general klal. So what does it mean that it's hanging out with the head of the pigeons? Ela dedami reishe l'diyona. If you have an orev whose head looks like a pigeon, that's going to be considered to be the orev haba b'rosh yonim. That's going to be treif as well. Again, these are all going to be part of the list of 24. It's interesting because these are 3 examples, but 2 of them are going to be, right, we're going to say that the orev and limino. So there's 2 different ones. The one that's the one that has a dame reish l'diyona will have to come with either the regular orev or the orev that's a deep one.
I thought we always translated yona as a dove.
We're talking about an orev now.
I know, but you say...
Oh, a dove, a pigeon, yeah.
But we keep saying, I know the article says pigeon.
B'nai Yona, no, I thought we said that a torin is a turtle dove and B'nai Yona is a young pigeon, we said.
Yeah, I know, but I
Are they different? A dove and a pigeon, it's not a variety? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. He keeps explaining it as a pigeon.
I know.
Says the Gemara, Taner Rabbanan. So hanetz ze hanetz leminayu lahavi as bar chirios. When it says a nates and it says leminayu, so the nates is a nates, and it's interesting. The Gemara doesn't ask, how do I know what a nates is? Because it seems like people knew what a nates was. They didn't know what an orev was. Therefore, you had to explain to them what an orev was. So you had to show it to them. But a nates, they knew what a nates was. So a nates leminayu includes the bar chiria. What's a bar chiria? Mari bar chiria. Amar Abaye shurinka. Shurinka. That's also a type of nates. Other non-kosher birds. The chasida is a daya levana. The chasida is a white daya. Why is it called chasida? Like chesed, she'otze chasidu simcha v'ruseha. Well, if it does chesed, why is it a non-kosher bird? Usually you'd think that a bird that does chesed would be a kosher bird. So they point out because it only does chesed with its friends. It doesn't do chesed with people that it's not friends with. Hanafa zodaya ragzanis. The anafa, which is non-kosher, is a hot-tempered daya. Lama nikra shema anafa. Because mina'ef she'me'anefes im chavruseha. It rages, it gets angry at its chavruseha, as its fellows. So you have 2 other birds that are not kosher. Amar Rav Chana bar Rav Chisda, Amar Rav Chisda, Amar Rav Hanan, Berei Derava, Amar Rav. Esrim v'arba ofos tmein. There are 24 non-kosher birds. Now, obviously, we said there's more than 24. There's 24 types, 24 species. Now we're going to see in just a second that there's actually two places where the Torah lists non-kosher birds. You have Vayikra here, and you have Devarim. In Vayikra, there are 20 birds and 4 limina, liminehu, limina, whatever. In Devarim, you have 21 birds and 4 limina, liminehu, etc. So we're going to see in a second why it's... So this one is 24. It's 20 plus the 4 liminos, which are including other species of that type of bird. And then you have 21 and 4. So we have to see why does it repeat itself. It repeats the animals as well. Usually when it repeats it, it's adding something to it. So it repeats itself, and also the numbers are off. So we're going to try to stem why this is 20 plus 4 and this is 21 plus 4. So the 20 plus 4 makes sense, 24. The 21 plus 4 is 25.
The 4 you're talking about are the limnos.
Limino, liminehu, etc. If you look at the list, there's a list of 20.
There's an extra bird.
There's an extra bird in Devarim. Says the Gemara, you have 24 types. Amalei Rechana bar Rav Chisda Rav Chisda Dehecha. Which one are you learning from? Idi Vayikra Esrim Hava. At this point, the Gemara is not including limina as one of the species that's going to be aser. So if you're looking at Vayikra, there's only 20 birds listed. Ida Mishnah Torah, if you look at Devarim, Esrim V'chad Havu, there's 21. V'chitei Mada D'chsiva V'Vayikra V'lo Ksiva Mishnah Torah. Now there's one that's called the Da'ah, which is listed in Vayikra and not listed in Mishnah Torah. Shad Yolahu. You say what? That should be added. Akati Esrim Utrain Havu. That's only 22 still. That means you have 20 here and 21 here, and one of the 20 is not listed here. So since this adds, let's say we have the 20, so these overlap. So you have 21, add another one, is 22. Now you have only 22. Where's the other two? Says the Gemara, Amar lei, hachi amar avod di'imach mishmei derav limina. Again, we're using Devarim as the final count because that's the one that comes later. So we're going to say anything that's in Devarim seemingly is included in Vayikra, right? Anything that's in Vayikra is included in Devarim. So what do we have? Limina. According to it's not limina, limino, liminehu. Hare kan arba. Yachi esrin v'shisavu. Now you're stuck again. Because what did you say? You had 21. We didn't count liminos. That's 21. We need 24. You just said 24. So then first we suggest, well, okay, you have 21. Let's try to get other ones before we bring in the liminos. So what do we do? We're going to take one of these, which is not listed here. Say that's another one. Now we got 22. So now how do we get to 24? Well, let's add all liminos. Now we have too much. Now we have 26. So what do we do? Says the Gemara, Yachi Esrim v'Shishavu. You have 26 varieties. Says the Gemara, Amrabai Da V'Ra Achasi. So if you look at the list, one of them is called the Da'ah, and one of them is called the Ra. The Da'ah is the one that we brought over.
Right.
Right? Da'ah is the one that we brought over. It's the same as the Ra. So what did we have? We had 21. Here, not to confuse you, but if you look here, it's easier. 21, 20. We said we need 20, so let's just do already, let's just add limina. So we have 21 and 4 is 25. Then we said that the da'ah that you're bringing over, which is another one, the da'ah is the same as the one that's here, is the same as the ra'ah. So don't add that one because it's already listed again as a different name. Da'ah and ra'ah are the same. So you're not bringing that over, but you still have 25. Okay. Originally we thought to bring it over, that would be 26. Right. Now we're saying don't bring it over, now you still have 25. If you think that the da'ah and the da'ah which is listed in Vayikra and the ra'ah which is listed in Devarim are different birds, Devarim comes to add. We said that Devarim adds. So to say that there's a bird here that's not listed here, that's a problem. To say that there's a bird here that's not listed here, that's okay, because it's adding to this list. But to say that they took away one doesn't make sense. So you'd have to explain that if there's one here that's not here, i.e. the da'ah, you have to say that that must be one of the ones that's also here, which is the ra. So again, now we've established that there's 20 plus 4 liminas, 21 plus 4 liminas. So now we have 25. We thought maybe we have 26 because there's a da'ah here which is not here. No, the da'ah and the ra are the same. But we're still stuck at 25.
We've got one more that's not listed.
So now we still have 25. We still have what?
One listed in Devarim is not listed in Vayikra.
Right. If we could get rid of that one, then we're back to 24. Right. If we could say that this one is really the same, well, we'll have to see. That's not going to help us. No. We can't do that, but we can maybe say that two of the ones that are in Devarim are the same.
Right.
Maybe two of the ones in Devarim are the same. We can't say that.
Different names for the same.
Saying we could say that one of these is the same as this, another one, but that's not going to help us because we're still going to have 24. We're still going to have 25.
Right.
Says the Gemara, we still have 25. Just like the da'ah which is here is not going to be added because it's the same as the ra'ah. Again, the ayah and the dayah are both mentioned in Devarim. Those two are the same. So two of the ones, that's exactly what we just said, two of the ones that are in Devarim, The fact that this is the same as this, we don't care anymore. Because that we're not going to add to the list because it's the same. But two of the ones in Devarim, the ayah and the daya, are actually one and the same. Disakadaitach tartein inun michte mission tar lesufi uda asa maishna hachadichtil limina ayah maishna asam dichtil limina daya el shmamina ayah vedaya achasi. What's the problem? In Vayikra you have the ayah, and in Devarim you have the ayah as well. You don't have the daya in Vayikra. The daya is the new one. Again, the da'a is here, and the ra'ah is here. We're saying da'a and ra'ah are the same.
Right.
I don't want to go through all this because it'll take us a long time, but the da'a and the ra'ah are the same. We could go through all this quickly. Look, if you look at page 63A4, look back for a second. A piece of paper. So let's just go through the list quickly just to make it clear. Nesher, same.
Where's
I'm looking at the bottom right footnote, 44.
okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nesher, same. Paris, same. Right? Got it?
Yeah.
Aznia, same.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
4 is where you got a problem. You got da'ah, and you got ra'ah. And what did we just say? We said that those are the same, no?
Right.
Said da'ah and the ra'ah are the same, so those are good to go.
Right.
Okay, next. The ayah. But now you see that in this one it's ayah lemino, which is what the Torah is telling me, which is what the Gemara is about to talk about. In the first one, in Vayikra, it's ayah, and then it's lemino of the ayah. It has ayah in the next one, but it's not ayah lemino, it says daya. So now, first of all, number 6 is different,
Right.
because you're going to have the daya is extra now, right? The daya is added. Then I'm saying the daya is only in Devarim, and then everything else is going to.
The daya.
The daya is only in Devarim.
Right.
Now, if you start 7 and 6, they're going to start to add up. So now you have Orev Lemino is the same. The Basa Niyah is the same. Tachmas is the same. Shachaf is the same. The Nates is the same according to its kind. The Kos is the same. The Yanshuf.
Yeah, 13.
The Yanshuf is there. The Shalach, which is 12, is going to be number 17, but it's also there. Right? The Shalach, the Yanshuf, the Tinshemes,
Right.
the Kas, the Racham or the Rachama, the Chasida, the Anafa, the Duchifas, and the Atalaf. So the only differences you have are, first of all, there's one that's here that's not there, the Da'ah.
Rachama is the same as a Racham?
Yes. You have the Da'ah, which is here, which is not here. There's only 3 differences. The Da'ah is here in Vayikra, which is not here. The Ra'ah is here, which is not here, but we said Ra'ah and Da'ah and Da'ah are the same, so we're good. So what's the additional one that's here that's not here? The Da'ah. Right? That's the only one that's additional. So the Da'ah is the extra one we're going to have to deal with. And the only other difference is that, as we're about to say, in Vayikra it says the Ayah lemino, and in Devarim it says the Da'ah lemino. That means not only is Da'ah extra, it also says Da'ah lemino as opposed to Ayah lemino. If you look at Vayikra, it says Ayah lemino, Ayah according to its kind. Mm-hmm. It has an Ayah in Devarim, but it's not Ayah lemino, it's Da'ah, which is the extra one, and lemino.
Right.
Okay, so that's what we're going to deal with now.
Right.
So now let's go back. So again, the da and the ra'ah are the same, so we have nothing to worry about. Yeah. So all we have to really deal with now is the daya, which is the 25th one. That's the only thing we have left, right? 20 plus 4. We have the extra one. So it says a Gemara, Vakati esrin v'chamisha havu Amar Abaye kishem shera v'da 1 is achasi, which is what we just said. Kach aya v'daya achasi. The ayah and the daya, the new one daya, which is brought, which also has an ayah, it's the same as the ayah. It lists 2 things that are the same in Devarim. And how do you prove that? Because over here, it said the ayah lemino. And over here it says daya lemino. It can't be that it would take away the lemino of the ayah and not include it in Devarim. Because that would be taking away. You have to add to. Or at least expound upon, or you have to explain. Therefore, when it says ayah lemino here, and then it says daya lemino here, it must mean that it's one and the same, then you have no problems.
So the ayah there means the daya lemino, and also
the ayah here means daya lemino, and over here, the only obvious question is why do you have to say ayah and daya here?
Right.
It comes out that you have 21 here, right? One of them happens to be the same as this one, the ra'ah and the da'ah, but that doesn't bother us because it's not going to ruin us, right? So you have 21 here. What's the 21? You have only 20 because two of them are one and the same. The ayah and the dayah. And the proof is that over here it's ayah lemino and here it's dayah lemino. It must mean that the ayah and the dayah are the same. The only question we're left with now that we have 24, is why does it have to mention ayah and dayah if they're the same animal? I mean, I understand if you list one variety here and one variety here, that's fine. But why? Even then, you could ask the question: why does it list it with one name here and one name here? And why does it list it with the same animal with two different names here? So really, even though the list is 21, it's only 20 plus the 4 is 24. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Says the Gemara, the proof that ayah and dayah are one and the same is Michte Mishnah Torah Lasuv Yodasa. Mishnah Torah Devarim adds, Maishna hacha dichtiv lemina ayah. Why over here by Vayikra it says ayah lemina, Maishna hasam dichtiv lemina adaya. Why did it say daya lemina? It must be alashma mina ayah v'daya achasi, and it's just using it interchangeably. Says the Gemara, v'chimachash ayah v'daya achasi lamalei lemichtav ayah v'daya. And again, why does it use? I could say, why does it use ayah and daya both in the same list? If it's the same animal, why does it include both of them? And I can add, if the ra'ah and the da are the same, why does it use them interchangeably? Why doesn't it just pick one? Says Gemara Kidatani, to avoid confusion, because for whatever reason, these birds were called by different names. So we want to avoid confusion, we want to include it in the list. The only question I would have asked, again, which I don't know if the Rishonim asked, is, so why did you put the ayah and the daya here? Why didn't you put either the ayah or the daya here? Like, why did you put the ayah and the daya here? Just like you did the ra'ah, you did the da'ah and the ra'ah, you should have done the ayah and the daya.
Right, you just say that goes to the other.
Right? And just say you have 21 and 21, and just say each one is really
by different names.
Yeah.
In order to elucidate that they're both.
But Gemara, whatever. So that I don't know. So it shows again. So it shows that it has 21, but two of the 21 are the same. Therefore, you have 20 plus 4 is 24. Why did it do it? Kedetanya, Rabbi Omer, Ekraniaya, Daya Lama Nemra, Kadesh Lotita and Pilchapel Labal Din Lachlo. We don't have a dispute. Shloteata Kore Aya, Vihu Kore Daya, Ata Kore Daya, Vihu Kore Aya, Lakachas Mishnah Torah, Vehara, Vehara, Vesaya, Vehadaya Limina. So again, it does it that it wants to just make sure that there's no misconceptions, misinterpretations, because they're all the same. Fine.
If you wait 10 minutes, it would be over.
So now we just said that the da'ah and the ra'ah are the same, the ayah and the daya are the same. So Gemara says, Meisvei, how could that be? Lama nishnu. Why were they repeated? We're almost done. Bebehema b'bnei hashesua. We're on Samach Gimel Amud Beis, 63b1.
Gotcha. It's the same question for behemoths too.
So the Gemara says, Meisvei lama nishnu. In general, why did they repeat everything in the Mishnah Torah, right? Mm-hmm. Says Gemara, as we'll see in a second, for behemoths they wanted to add another non-kosher behema, which is the shesua. Uva ofos mipnei hara, and for ofos because of the ra. So what's it equating? It's equating the shesua with the ra. Now, what did we say the ra was? We said the ra is just a new name,
right? But
the shesua is a new animal.
Right.
So if you want to make a comparison and say that whatever it does by animals, it does by birds, and just like it added a new animal, why are you telling me that the ra that you're adding is not a new animal? It's just a new name. My love bin de behema dehasam la sufe ofos nami lo sufe. Should you not have to learn that when it says ra over here, it must be adding it? It says mar lo hasam lo sufe hachal lefrushe. No, it doesn't matter. Derarim doesn't have to add something. It could also clarify. So over there by the animals, it added another animal. Here, let's clarify that the da'ah and the ra'ah have the same name. Good.
Yeah.
Upliga de Rabbi Avo. Now this is going to be a little bit interesting because we just established that there's 24, right? There's 20 plus 4 here. And there's 21 plus 4, which is really 20 plus 4 here, so you have 24. The Gemara is going to say that Rabbi Avo actually argues and say there's only 23. Dama Rabbi Avo, because what does Rabbi Avo say? Ra'ah zu ayah. We said that the ra is the da, right? Here's the da, here's the ra, here's the ayah, here's the dayah. But now he's saying that he holds that the ra is the ayah, which means what? The ra'ah, which was the da'ah, the ra'ah is also the ayah. Which means if this is this, if this is this, and this is this, and now you're telling me that this is also this, then what does that mean? All 4 are the same.
Right.
Well, now you have a problem. Because now you went from 24 to 23.
Yeah.
Right? Because you had 21 plus 4, we said 2 of them are the same. But now we're saying not 2 of them are the same, 3 of them are the same. The 4th one being here. Says the Gemara, we only have 23. Why is it called a ra? This animal can see very far. The path that's not known to the ayat, not discovered by the ayat, means the ayat can see everything. Tana Omedes Bavel V'ro Nevela Eretz Yisrael. That's cool. The ayah can stand, the ra can stand in Eretz Yisrael, in Bavel, and it can see a nevela all the way to Eretz Yisrael to know whether it should go there or not. So it comes out that 4 of them are the same. Again, since 3 are listed here and 1 is listed here, these 3 are all really 1. So if you have a list of 25 and 3 of them are really 1, that means you take off 2. That means you have only 23. Now at this point, the Gemara is only bothered with that because the Gemara is going to assume that everybody agrees that there's 24. The Gemara is going to come out in the conclusion, in Echanami, Rabbi Yevo argues and says 23. But before we've established that it's going to be 23, the Gemara is going to try to be bothered by the fact, how could he not hold of 24? The Gemara says, in Echanami, he doesn't hold of 24.
But V'yikra it says 24. So how, if he holds by V'yikra, it's only that the part of Devorim is, therefore is missing one in Devorim that's listed in V'yikra. V'yikra had 24. He's not saying take one away from V'yikra.
No, but the ayah, what's listed here? Here is the ra'ah, the ayah, and the dayah.
Yeah.
They're all 1. Here, you have the da'ah, and you also have the ayah.
Well, the da'ah is also in this one.
No, the da'ah is here and not here. The da'ah is here and not here. Right? The da'ah is here and not here. That's the one that's here and not there.
Right.
Then you have the ra'ah, ayah, dayah. The ra'ah and the dayah are not here, but the ayah is here. The ayah is also here. So this ayah, which was 20 plus 4, now you take away 1 from there also. Now it's 19.
So there's 2 in here also.
So there's 2. So it comes out that there's 2 and 4.
Oh, okay.
So if these 2 are the same, then there's really 20, but 2 of them are the same, is 19 plus 4 is 23. And here you have 21 plus 4, but 3 of them are the same. So it's 19 plus 4 is also 23. Right? So that's, no, your kasha is a good kasha, but the point is that the ayah is also here. If the ayah wasn't here, then you're right. But the ayah is also here. Says the Gemara, Midira hainu ayah, miklal dira lav hainu ra'ah, bichdei mishntor lasufe yodasa, maishna hacha dechsiv da'o, maishna hatzim delo ksiv da'ah, elav shmasina davira va'ayah achasi, like we just said. Umidira hainu ayah, miklal dira, I don't want to get da'ayah lav hainu ayah. Again, the Gemara is saying, well, if ra and ayah are the same, then it must be that da'ayah is not the same as ayah. Why? Because he's assuming at this point, the Gemara is assuming you have to have 24. It says more, rather, see, again, based on everything that we just said, they're all 1. If they're all 1, it comes out that it's only 23 and not 24. Again, all of this kash over here was just struggling with the fact that how could they be 1 and the same? If this is like this one, then this one can't be like this one because you have to have 24. It says, no, you don't. You don't have to have 24. According to Rabbi Yevo, 23 is enough. Right? That's what it says again over here. Midira hainu ayah, miklal dida lav hainu ra. If the ra is an ayah, then the da can't be a ra because then you're left with only 23. You learn that those 3 are the same, or else you're taking away. Well, umidira hainu ayah, miklal dida lav hainu ayah, maishna hasam dechsiv liminei ayah, maishna hasam delosim liminei ayah, ela daya. Again, they're all 1. You're not taking anything away, though, doctor, because you have the 2 here, and those 2 become different names over here. Well, some of them become different names, some of them keep the names, and you're adding. So again, like we said, it comes out that you're short 1, because again, the da'ah is here, right? The da'ah is in Vayikra. The da'ah is not in Devarim, but what do we say the da'ah is in? The equivalent of the da'ah from Vayikra is the ra'ah in Devarim. So the da'ah and ra'ah are interchangeable. The ayah which is here is also the ayah which is here, and there's one extra one in Devarim, which is the dayah. But the dayah is the same as the ayah, which is the same as the ra'ah, which is the same as the da'ah. All 4 are the same, and therefore you're left with 23.
Amazing, remember all the names.
Says the Gemara, Tanya. Good?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. It's 23 versus 24. That's what comes out.
Yeah.
Isi ben Yehuda Omer Meya Ofos Tmein Ish b'Mizrach. There are 100 different types of non-kosher birds just in the Mizrach. V'chulat min ayahin, and they're all part of the ayah family. Like we said, the 24, like we just said, to reiterate, the 24 non-kosher birds are not 24 non-kosher birds, 24 non-kosher species, and the non-kosher species are a lot more than 24. Says the Gemara, Tanya bimi b'rei Rabbi.
The end is that there's only 23.
No, that's according to Rabbi Yevo.
Oh, Rabbi Yevo. Okay.
We're not going like Rabbi Yevo. We're going like Rav, who says that there's 24. Rav does not hold. He doesn't hold that those 2 are the same. He doesn't hold that the ayah and the dayah are the same, seemingly. Right? Says the Gemara, Tanya Isi ben Yehuda Omer, Mea Ofos Tmein Yesh Mizrach. There are 100 different types of non-kosher birds in the Mizrach. V'kulan min ayahin. And those 100, just those 100 are all ayaz. Tanya Vime BAYT Rabbi Avo, Shvamios Mine Dagin Hain. There are 700 non-kosher fish. Again, just different varieties. That's a tradition. Ushmona Meas Mine Chagam. If you hold that grasshoppers are kosher, then there's 800 non-kosher grasshoppers. Ula Ofos Ein Mispar. And seemingly there's no number for the amount of non-kosher birds. What do you mean? Ofos Esvin Va'arba Havu. Again, if you tell me how many non-kosher fish and non-kosher grasshoppers there are, then if you say there's no number for the amount of birds, seemingly you're also talking about non-kosher birds. But you just told me there's 24 varieties or species of non-kosher birds. It switches la'ofos taho remain mispar. When it talks about the number of non-kosher grasshoppers and non-kosher fish, and then it switches and says, in terms of the number, the infinite number of kosher birds, not non-kosher birds.
We could say that all those different varieties, we have no idea what those varieties are, could be innumerable also.
Correct. You could just say that it's 24 varieties, but it's an unlimited amount of specific birds. Ein Hanami. Tanya, we'll see why the Gemara doesn't want to learn that way. Rabbi Omer, we know that Hashem knows that there are more non-kosher animals than kosher ones. That's why it specifically counted the kosher ones. There's a pasuk that lists 10 kosher animals. Right. So it specifically counts it because, as we'll see in a second, it's always going to count the one that's less. As we'll see in a second. You always want to count the less. So if you're either going to count in the Torah, we're talking about in the Torah. These are all traditions over here. But if you're either going to list the kosher or the non-kosher birds in the Torah, or the kosher or the non-kosher animals in the Torah, you're going to pick the one that's less. So kosher animals are less than non-kosher animals, so list the kosher animals. There are a lot more kosher ophos than at least species, even if you want to say species versus numbers, or even numbers, there's a lot more kosher than non-kosher birds. And that's why I counted the species of non-kosher. So again, it chose kosher animals because there are less kosher animals than non-kosher animals. And it chose non-kosher birds because there are a lot less non-kosher variety of birds than kosher varieties. It's very interesting.
It is, because nowadays...
Because you would not say almost everything is non-kosher.
Right.
Ein Hanami. Again, it doesn't mean in numbers, it just means in varieties. My kamash malan, what are you teaching us? Says Gemara, Rafuna Amarav, Ramila Marafuna Amarav, Mishum Rabbi Meir, Lolam Yishna Adam Letalmido, Derech Kitsara. That's why, again, when it lists it, it shows the ones that were more concise. Fine. We said before, and this is where it's all going to come back to the Mesorah, we said before that if you're an expert in the parrots and the Oznio, you're an expert in the Orev, you're an expert in the Nesher, then you can eat anything that you know is not that. So if you have a bird with one kosher sign, and you know it's not a parrot and an Oznio, and you know that a parrot and an Oznio is not found in this region, you could eat it. Well, let's say you don't know. Let's say you're not an expert. Let's say there are parrots and Ozniyas around. How do you tell? Is there another way to tell without actually looking at the signs? Says Gemara, like we said the entire time, through Mesorah, through a tradition. Amar of Yitzchak, Ovtar Nechal b'Mesorah. You could eat it through a tradition. What does it mean, a tradition? So as we'll see in a second, it either means you have a Mesorah, literally a tradition, and there's a custom, there's a minhag to eat it. That's the whole thing with turkey, we said. There's certain places there's a minhag to eat grasshoppers. So there's a minhag to eat turkey. Or you see your Rebbe eating it. You can go in and you can trust your Rebbe if he eats it. Or, says the Gemara, Nemanat Sayid Lomar Ov Zetar Masali Rebbe. Now, Rebbe, we're going to see in a second, does not mean my rabbi. You have a hunter who says, my teacher told me that these are the kosher simanim. We're going to see that this is the lowest one. That means we're going to see that across the board, if there's a tradition to eat a certain oaf, you can eat it. If you see your Rebbe eating a certain oaf, you can eat it. There's also, you can count as a tradition if the hunter says, my teacher, Hunter Senior, told me that this bird is kosher based on the simanim, then I can eat it as well. The Gemara is going to qualify this and clarify. Hunters are not always the highest people in the world. So you have to know who the hunter's Rebbe, quote unquote, teacher, not Rebbe in a Jewish sense, who his teacher was. If you know that the teacher was a Baki in the different 24 categories, then you can trust the teacher and you can trust the student. Bar Rabbi Zera, Rebbe Chacham or Rebbe Tzai. Now we're going to answer, the answer is Rebbe Tzai. When we talk about that this hunter has to have a Rebbe, does it mean a literal Rebbe or a Rebbe that's a hunter? Says the Gemara, obviously, Tashma, the Rabbi Yochanan v'hu Baki ben Vishmasein. He has to be a Baki in the names. Now, no offense to rabbis, but rabbis might know how to learn, but they have no idea how to hunt. Iyamart Bishlama Rabot Sayid Shapir Ela Iyamart Rabo Chacham Bishlama Shmayu Gamirlu. Very nice. A rabbi can sit on his chair and learn the 24 names, but he ain't going anywhere near a kosher and definitely not a dead bird. Ela Inu Miyadalahu Ela Shmamina Rabot Sayid Shmamina. So again, it comes out that if you're a Baki in general, if you know what it looks like, and you can compare it to a parrot or an azni or an orev, then you could eat it. Most people don't know how to do that today. So how do you eat a bird? You have to eat it based on tradition. What's the tradition? So it sounds like a stark tradition is that your Rebbe told you could eat it, or you see your Rebbe eating it, then you can eat it. What's not a stark tradition? If the hunter says it's good. Well, if you do research and you see that the hunter knows what he's talking about, and the hunter's Rebbe knows what he's talking about, the Rebbe being the hunter's hunter, not his Jewish Rebbe, but his non-Jewish Rebbe. So then if he knows what he's talking about, then you can trust him. But he's on a lower level. If you see your Rebbe eating it, you could definitely eat it. If your Rebbe says, I have a tradition that you could eat the turkey, for sure you could eat it. If the hunter says, oh, it's kosher, then you just got to make more sure. But if the hunter has a tradition that this has kosher signs, and you can trust him because he knows that you know that he's a baki, then you could trust him as well. But that's on a lower level than seeing your Rebbe eat it or having a custom in the place that everybody eats that bird. Good? Tana Rabbanan, we'll end with this. Lochin beitzin minat ovdei kochavim b'chol makom. We know that if a beitza is from a nevela or a treifa, you can't eat it. So how can I buy beitzim from an ovei kochavim? Why don't I have to be worried that it's from a nevela or from a treifa? So we don't have to be concerned. Why? Because rov of beitzim don't come from nevelos and treifos. Most animals are not nevelos and treifos. What?
So that's just not rov. There's still an amount that comes from that.
It doesn't matter. Batel barov. So if I have an ovei kochavim or even a Jew that's selling eggs, same thing with drinking milk. I could buy eggs from an ovei kochavim. I don't have to be worried that it come from a nevela treifa. V'dilma de'ov tamei ninhu. Maybe they came from a non-kosher bird. Well, why don't we say rov over here also?
Right.
Rov birds are kosher. Says Tosfos. Either we're dealing with, there might be more types of kosher birds. Like we said, remember, we just said that there are more types of kosher birds. This goes back to what you're saying, doctor. There are more types of kosher birds, only 24 types of non-kosher birds, but there's a lot more non-kosher birds than kosher birds. There's only 24 species of non-kosher birds, but those species multiply a lot more, as opposed to real life, where the species of Jewish people multiply a lot more than not. But at the end of the day, even though there's only 24 species of non-kosher birds, in the rove of birds in the world, there's a lot more non-koshers. You can't go based on rove.
Yeah, well, that's because we don't. Maybe because we can't identify them. That's why.
It could be. Or he says we're dealing with a place where the non-kosher birds are rove. So again, let's assume we're dealing with a place, or let's assume that most of the birds in the world are not kosher. So in terms of a treif and a nevela, you don't have to be worried because most birds are not treifas and nevelas. But why don't you have to be worried when a non-Jew sells you an egg? Because again, when you buy from a Jew, you can assume that he made sure that it's kosher. But when a non-Jew sells you an egg, an idolater sells you an egg, why are you allowed to eat it? I understand you can eat it als nevelos and treifos. You can assume a bird is not nevel and treifa. But why do you have to assume that the bird's not kosher? You can't eat a yotzei min ha'asur asur. Why can you eat you can't eat an egg that comes from a non-kosher bird? So how can you eat it? Amar Rav Shmuel be'omer shel of ploni tahor. It's when he specifically tells you that it's from a kosher bird, and he tells you which kosher bird it's from. So why are you allowed to trust him, Mendel? Why are you allowed to trust him? Says Gemara v'lema shel of tahor. But if he says it's from a kosher bird, you can't trust him. Why not? Says Gemara, ihachi islay li'ishtamute. There's something called mesis lefutumo.
Right.
So what do we say? Over here, when he sells, let's say the guy is an idolater and he's selling birds he's selling eggs. He's selling eggs, and we know that rove eggs are from non-kosher birds. So why am I allowed to buy? You're not. You have to assume it's from non-kosher. You can buy from a Jewish guy, even though rove eggs are from non-kosher birds, because you know the Jew's only going to buy kosher eggs. Why are you allowed to buy from the idolater? You can't. You can if he tells you this is the egg of a rooster. Why? If he tells you this is a kosher egg, you can't buy it. If he tells you this is an egg of a rooster, you can buy it. Why? Because he's not going to lie to you. Because what are you going to do when you go home? You're going to go home and you're going to go bring it to your friend who knows what he's talking about, and he's going to compare it to the egg of a rooster. And if you see that the non-Jew is lying and selling you non-kosher eggs, nobody's ever going to buy from him again. That's why he specifically has to tell you which bird it is. He can't just tell you it's a kosher bird, because what happens if he says it's a kosher bird and you go home and you look around and you don't find it? You're going to say you're a liar. Say, I'm not a liar. There's a kosher bird in Antarctica that happens to be this egg, and I get special from Antarctica. You're not going to be able to disprove him. Right. But if he says to you that there's a kosher, that this is the bird of a rooster, and he's lying, a rooster's kosher, then he's going to be caught and he's not going to be willing to take a chance. So if he says to you, this is the bird, this is the egg of a rooster, you could trust him because he's afraid to be caught. Says a Gemara, v'livdok b'simanim. Why do we step back for a second? What do I need to check? What do I need to trust him at all? Why can't I just check the egg myself? Every egg, kosher egg, has a siman, which I wouldn't have thought, but we'll see tomorrow. Every egg has a siman. Titania b'simani beitzim kaf simani dagim. Just like beitzim have signs, so too the signs of fish. We'll see in a second. We're just going to end with this. We're just going to parenthetically, simani dagim sagada. What do you mean? that the signs of fish. What do you mean the signs of fish are like the signs of eggs? The signs of fish are what? Signs of fish are snaper v'kaskesses amrachmana. Ella, what does it mean that the signs of eggs are like the signs of fish? Ella ema kach simane ubre dagim. Dagim themselves have fins and scales. But let's say you can't check a dog for fins and scales. There's another way to check it. Obviously not so practical. Another way to check it is if it looks like a kosher bird. What looks like a kosher bird? What looks like the egg of a kosher bird? The signs of the eggs of a kosher bird, which we're going to see in a second, are the same of the signs of, as he says, the row of kosher fish, the cluster of eggs that's inside the membrane of a female fish. The shape of that cluster of eggs is the same as the shape of a kosher egg, which we're going to see tomorrow is spherical and round. It's not 100% spherical. It's not 100% round, but it's spherical and round. So again, we're saying simanim of a fish are fins and scales. If you can't check the fins and scales, you could check the row. You could check the cluster of eggs inside the female fish's inner membranes, ovarian membranes. If you see that it's the size, if it's the same shape as a kosher baitzim, which we'll discuss tomorrow, then you know that it's kosher.